Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is actually the first Zoom podcast. So I'm here today with the Rejects. Well, two of the Rejects. I think is it Diamond B's missing?
Diamond B and DBH.
Cool. There's four of yous now.
Yep.
There's always been four of us. Since I joined, there's been four of us.
Nice one. So I'm here with Coco and common as Muck. Is it actually Coco D?
Coco is Coco Smooth now. It was Coco B Smooth. I've dropped the B. That's a recent change. Coco Smooth.
Yeah. Cool.
Rebranding himself.
It's rebranding before anyone knows me. That's the best time to do it.
Well, cheers for coming on, guys. First Zoom one. I've got a couple booked in the last couple of days, so that's quite cool.
Nice.
That's good, man.
The first
booked in, or should we know that?
No, that's cool. Got True Facts booked in, or King True, and Lindsay.
We were actually just talking about the song a few minutes ago.
We're just saying we checked out his new song last night.
Nice. Yeah. He's got a lot going on as well, eh? And Lindsay Dre. She's Lindsay Dre. Was that right? DRA, I think. I have to check her name again, eh? But she's on Facebook. She's an amazing singer. She just makes these videos playing her guitar and singing. And I was like, you should get on my podcast. So she's up for it. And I've got a few other people actually all hitting me up I need to get back to. But so it should be good. But so
I'm happy to be the first.
Here to chat about you guys though, the Rejects. I got you guys on a video before on that live gig at Sketchy Beats.
Cheers for putting up the video and cutting it just before I fucked up a bar.
Oh, right, cool. To be fair, I just randomly select a bit, and then I watch it and go, that'll do, I'll use that bit. I don't check the whole thing. I'll just use that bit. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Takes too long, man. Sit and look at picking out my favourite part of everyone's, but I'll use that.
No, just get the first one and you're golden.
Good. So no, that was good. If anyone's watching, you can check out the Sketchy Beats video on the channel, and the Rejects, they've got a wee bit of rapping on there, so you can check that out. Cool. So again, cheers for coming on. We're just going to chat a wee bit about you guys and your music and what you're up to just now, I suppose. Because if you want, we can do another podcast another time more about your background and stories of how you got into stuff and all that. We'll not do that now, but chat about what you've been up to music-wise or that just now.
So far, we put that on last month.
So we had a project out last month. That's in Bandcamp now. So there's got how many tracks is on that? That's fair wacky tracks.
Well, that's not in Bandcamp. That was just on SoundCloud because we don't look at much in Bandcamp unless it's a full project.
No, the album I'm talking about.
Oh, the album
project. Yes, that was a full project. Yes, we swear we know what we're doing.
To be honest, we don't. We're just fucking around.
That's something that just came out recently. It's got, I remember you talked about it before, it's got quite 13, 14 tracks on it or something.
Yeah, about 13, 14 tracks and that. So there's a fair mix of stuff. It's a bit more with that one. I only joined at a later date. Mike was trying to persuade me to join for about a year before I ever did. So I've only maybe 4 or 5 of the tracks in comparison in the album, but there's later stuff obviously is more inclined towards all 4 of us. So we've been working on a few tracks recently. We were talking about maybe doing another little EP for the Rejects, weren't we?
It felt like a reject, so we had to get one.
Yeah. You guys just booked up today to do some recordings. Is that what you've been up to?
Actually, we're just going to get his EP one last time before the...
we're just chilling out to do the EP. I'm going to put this EP out this Friday coming, so it's...
cool.
Just going through it one more time before we do that.
These Zoom podcasts will be up quicker, eh? So Friday coming. What day is today? Monday. Might be up before Friday if I can get up in a couple of days. Right, might come up just before Friday.
There you go. So I finally got around to doing is that a serious artist thing, making a Bandcamp now? Is that how everyone does their music? But I've done Bandcamp and that, so cocosmooth.bandcamp.com. Got that. So it's 6 tracks, only 2 features.
What was the address again?
cocosmooth.bandcamp.com.
Cool, perfect.
Nice plug there, mate.
There you go. Right. I could do this plugging thing.
I was
Aye,
going
very
to
nice.
actually say,
No,
probably, probably should at least say if I was saying we'll do more on your background on another one, But like
Yeah.
we'll meet and do a proper one. But probably worth letting people know where you're from and what type of music you make, in case they don't even know you at all, right now.
Well, I suppose these podcasts aren't specifically hip hop or anything like that, so I suppose that's a good point. Yeah, with Scottish rap, it's very tight knit, and you just assume everybody knows everybody.
I know.
It's, I mean, yeah, to be fair, we're all over the place, aren't we? We've got Bruce, he's from Lithgow, which is West Lothian, and I'm from Bathgate, which is West Lothian as well. I'm living in Glasgow now. I moved through here in the last year, so
Wow, right.
you were Lanarkshire and moved to Glasgow. Be about right?
Aye.
Then moved, and then you get GBH, who was big Glasgow. But really, it's, see, to be honest, there's no a great story to it or nothing like that. It's really just I liked each other a lot, so I just want to do something like that. That's it.
You know what, Mike was the guy who would always reach out to everybody. You know, it's like, I mean, I respect this about you is that you actually would. He was the first person. See when I done that thing, right, where you post your music up and you're. I don't know if this is familiar or no, but you're pure nervous that first time. You're, oh fuck, I'm putting this out in public. What are people going to think?
Aye.
And then Mike was one of the first people to actually reach out and say, you know, do you want to collaborate on something and all that? So we just started speaking for there, and that's all came together.
Mike's like RZA then, He's like the RZA of the group.
Yeah, I was going to go with Dr. Dre signed me to the Rejex, but
there's a bit of paper and everything.
Made me sign a contract. I won't go into the finer details. But...
You could make a.
that wasn't the Reject.
You can make a meme about that. Can picture a Mike for the Rejects Dr. Dre.
I could see it, yeah.
Nice one. Cool. Well, I suppose that's enough. People understand. So you guys are pretty much from the west of Scotland and do hip hop and stuff for anyone not sure of who you're actually watching. Yeah, cool. So you've got your EP then coming out on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. It's Cooking with Coco, it's called. It's all a bit tongue in cheek. It's
cool.
It's quite a mix of stuff, to be honest. You know, kind of starts off a bit funky and then a few kind of more lo-fi, toned down tracks towards the end. So hopefully something for everybody.
Nice.
Which are also a wee bit funky in all fairness. So yeah, it's quite funky.
Is that the 18th Friday?
I think that'll be right. Yeah, 18th Friday. Could be. Might be a bit right.
Roughly.
I'm not keeping track of dates.
Yeah, by the time anyone's watching this, it should be the 8th. I think tomorrow's the 15th. I think it's 18th, Friday the 18th.
Yeah, 18th will be.
That'll be out. So if you're watching this, then look at your dates and you'll figure out if it's out. There you go. Nice one. Well, anything you want to really talk about other than your EP? Any other stuff you've been up to, or gigs you've got planned, or master plans you've got in the pipeline?
Well, we've just got the flyer today for we're playing another Edinburgh gig. So that's the 29th of October. That's the Wee Red Bar. So that's a good mix. It's kind of mix of bands and rappers. So
nice.
You've got Dungeon Dwellers on the lineup. You've got Laird on the lineup. We've got Devils and Skirts. A couple of other acts I'm not as familiar with, obviously non-hip hop acts, but
cool.
It's a Sunday night, not the most ideal, but I'm off work the next week, so fuck it.
yeah. Sometimes it's worth taking the punishment. Sometimes it's like, I'm going out.
Yeah, no, I can't function with my 5 a.m. starts after I've done a gig the night before. I've found that out already.
Me too, aye.
The 20-minute set, so if we get all 40 is there, we'll probably get 2 or 3 verses each, so it's not too much.
Yeah,
aye. I remember I was in a group called Evil Residents years ago, and there was 4 of us, and gigs were quite easy because it was like plenty of time for sort of you to gather up your thoughts for your next part, and while the other guy's rapping and that.
Yeah, I quite like that part of it as well. Man, Evil Residents, by the way, that's a flashback for me. I used to listen to Evil Residents stuff in like 2008 or something, man.
Aye, that's old. Like, I mean,
that's going back a while. That's like Scottish hip hop forum days.
Aye. It was just after. It was like Dark Rumors. We were still doing Dark Rumors at the time, and it moved on to that Evil Residents because we just added 2 more folk to the group and changed the name, basically.
You don't think still your older stuff up?
What's that? Is it online?
Aye.
You can find some MySpace pages and
MySpace. That's a
sound,
while as well, eh?
Did you
sound,
do the emo girl pose?
I think SoundClick as well. SoundClick. Is that a website?
SoundCloud was, I think SoundCloud was before SoundCloud, I think.
Hi,
So.
man. So you'll find MySpace and SoundClick. Check it out, man. 2023. MySpace and SoundClick.
LiveWire, I'm sure I've still got that somewhere.
Probably still got it on my computer, man. But aye, man, nah, there is old tunes. You can Google them. I remember I'd forgot they were there, and Matat was up one night. He's like, "Here, type it in, Google it, and search for a minute." I was like, "What?" Typed in some dark rumors. Like, we don't have anything online for dark rumors. He's like, "Type it in and search." And took me a wee bit. To just keep looking. What the fuck? Found MySpace pages and that fully loaded up with tracks from, as you say, like 2008 or something. Maybe before that. But
Maybe in 2032 we'll be doing this for Rejex stuff, so
I will not be talking at all. I've never really seen you post much up for yourself, to be honest. You still doing music?
Music stuff, like I don't really do any rapping anymore. I mean, I still enjoy it, do it for a bit of fun. And I've got like a lot of tracks on my computer I've not released. I just never had a plan, but I still like, I've got a studio, so uh, get creative and make stuff, but don't have a plan. And then so I've got like probably about an album's worth of tunes sitting on my computer that have not been released, just me on them. Otherwise, I'll do the odd beat for folk. So just now I'm doing some music for my mate that is from Tobago. So that's that Scouty guy I've been.
Oh, that one, your last podcast.
I've seen your podcast.
Yeah, so I'm just helping him. He's a old pal, and I'm just like, he asked me, he was like, "Oh, you should make some music for me," because he's just a singer, eh? And I'm like Jamaican sort of reggae style, and and I was totally like, "Cool, man." So I took on the wee project of doing that. That's like the first thing I've had to do in ages, eh? But this is like turning back on me, this podcast now.
It's your first one. It's a pilot, isn't it? Get to speak about it both.
But that's all I'm doing music wise, to be honest. And I want to get the podcast running again. So I'm literally earlier on sitting going, I need to be working on Scouty tunes.
You doing any features on it yourself?
I think there's going to be a track featuring me and I could probably say and Matat probably.
Nice.
On one track, it's going to be like an album we're doing for him, and producing it for him basically. So yeah, but he wants us on it. So, and obviously I've had him up here and I've had Matat up, and we've been drinking plenty of beers and getting creative and that. So
nice one, man.
He's like,
to be honest.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, you need to get Matat and you on it too. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's a not bad selection, to be fair, so yeah, why not? You actually sent me a beat years ago.
Well, I just went to type your email address in to send you this invite, and I didn't have to complete it. It came up. I was like, I've sent him something before. And I was like,
You sent me a beat years ago, and I'd done a song to it, but to be honest, it was shit. So I don't know if I ever sent it back to you or not. But I'll have a look for it, and if I find it, I'll send it out to you, right?
Cool, man. I liked that night at Sketches. I was impressed with you, is it? Like,
thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Can't remember what people were saying. I was chatting to folk in the crowd and True Facts and all that, and ST, and they were all kind of chatting about like, oh, and are all different. So folk were like, oh, that guy's like, I think a lot of folk thought Coco was like quite entertaining. There's something just entertaining about him. You know what I mean?
I think I look a bit standout in the hip hop crowd, to be honest. When I was rocking my Hawaiian shirt and the Sketches, I felt a bit out of place. But
I think that's what it is, the way. Like, totally.
To be fair, one of these tracks, the first track to the EP, is actually about how he's different.
Yeah, literally one of the first lines of the song, "Never dug a trackie, catch me in Hawaiian shirt." That's the vibe, man.
Yeah, man, it's good. It makes you stand out, eh? And I reckon Michael was like what I used to be into when I was younger and quite gritty and hardcore. Like your style is quite hard hitting, and
I do prefer more the 90s, like
aye.
style of hip hop. I kind of get into most of it. It's all produced. I prefer that kind of more raw sound.
Did I get Mike started in trap and drill and all that? We'll be here for the rest of the podcast.
I'm not actually I'm not against it. I try and stay interested, and there is some new stuff I quite like, but there is a lot of I'm not. I'm the same. I love like the older stuff. That's what I got into. I didn't get into this new sound. I got into that.
I'm the same man. I like the trap and drill stuff, man. Some of it's good, some of it's entertaining, but I don't know. It's became the norm. I think is the problem. There's no. It doesn't feel like there's that many people making proper hip hop up here anywhere.
I know.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's like hip hop's. It's still going though. There is some groups in America and that too, but everyone's underground. Nothing's hitting the mainstream. That's like
definitely.
It's like it's been.
You wanted to though. I mean,
true. Aye, I know.
Is it really a culture when it becomes popular?
I know you're right. It's like real hip hop's been pushed underground a bit, and then I'm almost complaining about it. And then if you go back to the roots, people moaned about the mainstream taking over hip hop. So it's probably a good thing that it slipped out of the mainstream now,
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. The more it got pushed into the mainstream, they started changing the sound quite a bit and that.
I just call the old stuff hip hop. The new stuff, I don't call it that. So,
so what do you call it?
The new, God knows, man. It's like rapping with, it's influenced by dubstep and garage and that. I don't know. It's not hip hop. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't say it's hip hop. It's you can define what's not hip hop when they start rhyming their ad libs. That's when you know there's a problem. That's a trap music thing, rhyming your ad libs. What a weird thing to do.
I think some people, so I might be wrong, because some people maybe claim hip hop is like a way of life and a culture, and everything in that culture is under hip hop. So grime and all that all comes under hip hop, under the umbrella. Some people would maybe say that. So
it's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, it's spoken word.
Yeah.
So it's whether it's auto-tuned or not, it's really just spoken word with computer graphics added.
Aye.
Respect all that stuff, people are into different things and that, obviously no mattering in that, I respect that. It's what people want to do. I went to that Onyx gig in Glasgow.
Right.
Which was, oh my God, that was incredible, by the way. That's one of the best gigs I've been to in God knows how. I went to see Wu-Tang and Nas recently as well. Wu-Tang and Nas was great. Onyx was better. Honestly, 100% that was a better gig.
Yeah. I saw a video online, and it looked amazing. It looked quite close-knit, close proximity.
Well, classic grand, I mean, compared to, I've seen the Wu-Tang a few times now, and it's every time you play the bloody Hydro, and I mean, Hydro's alright at that, but it's just you didn't get the same experience as you did at a small gig. I went to see Cypress Hill at the Barrowlands, and that was absolutely amazing. But they're playing the Hydro next. I'm like, it's probably going to be shit at the Hydro.
Right, aye. And it's a shame for Wu-Tang, because I put Wu-Tang as like one of the biggest influences of all time for me, anyway. And like so much respect for them, and I totally love RZA. I grew up because I make beats and stuff, I kind of looked up to people like RZA. He rapped, but he was a master of production, and I was like, yeah. So I love them. But what I'm about to say is it's just seems to be constant story after story of people being disappointed with gigs. And certain ones turn up and it's
the only thing that just seemed a bit see when they done the Gods to Rap gig, that was a few years ago now. It was a great gig, but it was afterwards, and it was all the Wu-Tang guys, and they were standing by the doors of was that the Hydro? I don't know if that was the Hydro or no. But anyway, they were standing by the doors, and they were all sitting by a camera, and they're trying to charge people fucking 50 quid as they walk out for a photo with a photograph and all that. And I'm like, it's just a bit sellout, isn't it? It's this big fucking grimy 90s hip hop guy that they're going to make a quick buck by charging everybody for a photo as they walk out. It's a bit shite, isn't it?
Certainly.
You can steal music, you've got to make your money somehow.
They must be making a fucking point. They're charging us £100 a ticket.
I know, You're paying for the experience, You're paying to go and see Wu-Tang. I suppose it's all part of just you pay the money, But
did you see the TV show?
I've not watched it. I've watched it at my
it.
mate's house. They put on start of an episode or something, and I was like, "Oh, what?" I've not started watching it yet, though.
He's actually really good. The guy who plays ODB is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
to be.
So
I should have just got fucking young dirty bastard to do that. He looks just like him anyway. He's got the same energy on stage then.
no, it could be. I've never really seen Young Dirty Bastard.
I actually quite like him at their gigs, to be fair. He does all the ODB songs doing his, it's good, to be fair.
I think I seen one video of him rapping a table, and that was it.
he started doing his parts for him, live in that,
Yeah.
performing with him, aye. And then I was going to say, actually, in their defense, I always hear people saying, Ghostface Killer's gigs are always banging. So whenever he's doing solo, like Ghostface,
He's always been one of my favourites for Wu-Tang, like.
yeah, me too. But then again, I just pick them all and go, oh, mind you, oh, he's amazing too. And then he start going, I don't know who's my favorite, but
It's a hard one to call.
There's that many of them, it's quite difficult, isn't it?
I
You
used
get
to always
Inspector Deck as well. So
well, I was just about to say I used to always say rapping Inspector Deck, but if you include like the whole production of Wu-Tang, I always used to kind of put RZA. And also he's got a mean rap style, RZA.
Right.
you know what song he has I really like? Do you ever hear the one after the Blade 3 soundtrack, Fatal?
Fatal,
Yeah.
maybe. It rings a bell.
It's fucking eerie, but it's good.
Aye. Yeah, I like some of the newer stuff he done, like 2000s, early 2000s and that.
Does he not get like a brandy whiskey now as well?
Probably.
Is he not working with Valentine whiskey or something like that?
Man's got everyone this year. Is he not the one who done to release the like fucking exclusive one copy albums encased in gold and all that? So, which is apparently owned by the United States government now. That's they arrested the guy that owned it. So technically, it got repossessed by the government. So the US government own a Wu-Tang album. It's a true story, apparently.
That's nuts. Aye, well, there's that album that was locked away that never.
Yeah, that's the one. It got bought by some millionaire guy, but then he got done for fraud, so the government repossessed that.
Oh, right, is that what it is?
That's the one, yeah.
That's nuts.
They could buy it back if there's an auction.
So it's right now, can't be released. It's under like lockdown.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'd like to think it would be like a police auction thing. That's the way I imagine it, But they repossess stuff off criminals. That's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we need somebody to purchase that album for about fucking $2 million or something, and then release it to the world because we all want to hear it.
Yeah, totally, and it's meant to be amazing. Well, you just get the feeling it'll be amazing, eh?
Oh, it will be. That's the brutal part. It'll be incredible. It'll be the best album they've ever done, but we'll never get to hear it.
And that,
I don't know in that one, to be honest with you.
I'm just being hopeful.
Even that Wu-Tang Saga Returns or something, that was banging. The one
Is that one with Special Learn?
it went sort of back to the old school sound, more samples.
That the one Mathematics produced most of it.
I think he did, didn't he? Aye. It's the one that's all animated on the front and that animation and stuff. Yeah.
That was a decent one. See, to be honest, that's probably the most decent one I've had since forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like Forever was amazing. Yeah, I mean, people always say 36 Chambers has to go as their number one, but Forever, like.
No, I think I'd put Forever ahead of it as well. I mean, you could Triumph. That track alone is. If you took it track by track, you put Triumph against Protect Your Neck. I think Triumph wins in that one.
Yeah, it's only because the original is the one that hit you, that made you go, "Oh wow!" Forever, production-wise and everything, it totally blows out the water. Like, but so I've got folk that are like, "Nah, man, 36 Chambers has to go before Forever." I'm like, I don't know if you can do that. What, 12 tracks against fucking 25 tracks or something?
Well, the easiest way you could do that is just split it into 2 discs.
Yeah.
Does it beat the first disc? Does it beat the second disc?
Probably wouldn't be either of them,
Guarantee you've seen.
I don't know on that one. If you broke it down and it was 1 against 1 for each of the discs, I think 36 Chambers might then.
I guess with Mike as well, is he's actually talking about discs as well. This is the only man I know that's still got a CD collection.
The young folk watching are like, what are they even talking about? Like discs?
Yeah, man, I'm like a Spotify guy. That come down here. Mike's leaving, but Spotify downloaded. He's got a collection of CDs and they're great behind us. I'm like, Well, old school.
There's 4 crates, mate.
Mate, I respect it. You know, that all your DVDs lined up here. I'd be surprised if you didn't have a Netflix subscription.
Don't worry, it's just no mine.
The young folk are going, what are you even talking about? Hip hop changed. What hip hop?
Yeah, see, the thing that gets me about that as well, right? So I was thinking about this quite recently because there'll be young people do, right? So folk are like, say I started listening to music properly when I was maybe about 10, 11-year-old, right? And it's like the first people I listened to, like Eminem, obviously, at the time when I was growing up, Eminem was just kind of in his, big just came out here and all that. So I listened to a lot of him first, then got deeper into the whole hip hop thing and that. But there'll be people who are listening to like drill music, and that's literally the first rapper that they've ever heard. And they probably won't even go back and listen to like, Biggie Smalls or Tupac or fucking Wu-Tang or anything, their entire idea of hip hop now is like that's how it sounds.
Totally
They probably would never go back to listen to that.
Well, to be fair, there's actually whole YouTube video channels dedicated to Gen Z watches Tupac, Gen Z listens to Biggie.
That's because
yeah.
A
lot of those artists will be like, they will be respected, but looking back at those artists, young people looking back at those artists is just like really. I mean, I'm 41, looking back at Oasis and the Beatles, and they're not the same time, but the Oasis, Beatles is a bit further away. Looking at them, really, and but mind you, I'm 41. I went to an Oasis concert, like when they were big. But mind
what was the first hip hop act you got into then? Because Oasis was about the mainstream back then.
Well, we've got
so it wasn't like easy to find.
We've got a wee 5 minutes, but I know I was totally West Coast there. First stuff I really heard was Dr. Dre's.
I could see that with your beats.
My dad gave me, my brother gave me NWA straight out of Compton. That was the first taste I got. He gave me it on cassette, and he was like, "Don't tell mum. Like, here's NWA." And I was like, "That's literally what it was like. Don't tell mum, but go and listen to that. You'll probably like it, but don't let her hear it." And that I was like, "All right, cool." So I was young, but not mad young, not like 8 years old or anything. People tell stories. Oh man, I got that when I was 6. Like, got it when I don't know. He gave me it when I was like a teenager, maybe 14 or something. Like I was in high school, and he was like, "Yeah, go and listen to that." And I'm like, "What's that?" And that was it. I learned about them, and then obviously went straight through the Dre path onto Death Row and onto all that. Yep. But then when the first East Coast folk I found was Wu-Tang. So first people that wasn't even looking for East Coast rappers. I wasn't interested. I just like West Coast. But then I found Wu-Tang and was like, "Oh, what? This isn't just East Coast rap. This is something special." And I fucking sucked right into Wu-Tang, and then I started to then appreciate Nas and Rakim.
Yeah, that's got to be quite similar to me, but I think it was probably Wu-Tang and all that. And then you say Nas is the one that really stood out to me with like proper like underground stuff, I suppose, when I first listened to Illmatic. I've never forgot it to this day. I just sat there afterwards like, fucking hell, what an album.
I mean, I was literally like, when I heard Nas, I then went, "Oh man, Nas is possibly better than all of the oh good, it's giving me a little time warning how long we've got." That's nice.
Yeah, I see that.
It's when I heard Nas, I was like, he's possibly better than all the members of Wu-Tang. So that totally messed with my head. I was like, I didn't think East Coast was that good. I stayed away and I was West Coast. Then I found Wu-Tang and went, "Oh, maybe East Coast's all right. Let's check out the other guys." And then went, "Oh my God, I can't believe I was ignoring Nas." And then DMX and Buster Rhymes, and it all just unfolded onto the East. And then I ended up like, my collection today has way more East Coast than West Coast. It's mad. But I think do you want to keep on chatting random hip hop, or do you want to mention anything else? For we've got like 9 minutes.
Anything else you want to say about your EP?
I mean, I think we've said what needs to be said in that. As I say, 6 tracks, good mix of stuff. We do have 2 features on it, which is one from the man himself sitting next to me, and we've got Elliot Stradling, who you should definitely check out if you've not heard his music. I feel like Elliot's just kind of underrated, isn't he? I mean, he's got
So is he a rapper?
He's a rapper. He's got probably about 5 or 6 tracks in SoundCloud. He's got a couple in Spotify and that as well.
What's his name again?
Elliot.
Elliot Stradlin.
Stradlin.
Stradling, that's right.
Stradling. Cool.
He's dope, man. He's like, his flow is absolutely magic. Like, he's really good. As I say, you go to SoundCloud, it's by his people, he's got 10, 20 listens in every track, obviously, doesn't he get a lot of following, but every track I've heard, man, bagging, so I'm looking forward to getting them on it.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good to just ignore views a lot of time, and a lot of people, like, I'm interested in getting anybody on the podcast. I'm not interested in just hunting down folk with massive views and that. It's just like, and it's also good. And I even remember when I first started doing music, it was hard to get people even to give you the time of day in that, because they were like,
yeah, man, it's hard to get people into it in the first place. I think we're a bit limited nowadays, and what we can actually post on and all that. And it's
we just need to try and make better songs
for the channel. For my channel, I'm mostly just interested in having a good chat and good content and people to be interested, and yeah, more than anything. So I don't really care what we're talking about too. I got a guy asking me if if I'll not say because he might watch, don't want to be talking about people, but I get some weird requests for podcasts, like I could come on and talk about this, and I'm like, yeah, man, if you want, I don't mind what we're talking about. Let's talk.
If it's going to make for interesting content, then that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. If it's interesting, I'm like, that sounds interesting, man. Let's do it. I'll probably get a couple of wee conspiracy podcasts on the go soon. Like,
oh mate, I would love that. I love that shit. To be honest, you did a bit conspiracy for you. You're absolutely not for me, right? I'm a feet in the ground kind of guy, but see, reading that shit, man, I love it.
Aye, me too. Like all the different. I was thinking of getting folk on and people bringing up different theories they've heard. Like, what? Like, tell us something, and that somebody could talk about, it, and then someone else, you got another conspiracy theory you could go into. Like, aye, what about the one about this? And so I've been seeing these things recently that there's tons of apparently robots walking about with like synthetic skin on their face.
It was the reptiles years ago, so it's I'm glad that they've upgraded to robots now.
Aye, man, it's robots now. Eh?
Skynet's got a TikTok.
There's footage of people on aeroplanes, passengers going nuts because they're accusing the stewardesses of not being real. And,
I saw that yesterday.
This is all tied into this thing about there's meant to be robot cyborgs walking about that look like us, but then like.
I think it's probably called schizophrenia personally, but
okay.
Each to their own,
If it was that obvious, would everybody on the plane not notice? You're like, if you were like, yes, I will get you your drink. Like...
It was all the chemtrails coming out the back of the plane that confused everyone. So.
Right, guys. Well, that's been good. Thanks for coming on to the podcast Zoom, first one. I think it went pretty well.
So it's your first podcast as well. So cheers for.
It's been good to chat, man.
These are just going to be little podcast fillers, really, and then in between big ones. So I'll get you on for a proper one, and you get as many.
We'll see about getting the rest in here for it as well.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
I could come to you as well and film.
Whatever's easier for you.
And I can bring a few mics so we can plug in as well. We can plug in 4 mics anyway, so that'll be enough for us. But
yeah, perfect.
Nice one, guys. Well, pick up. Fist bump to the screen.
Right, cheers, mate.
Yeah, and I'll catch you soon. And thanks again. And thanks to everyone for watching. And catch you later.
See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.